What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is Eve Online, and due to a request from Rareknock on YouTube, in one of the comments, he and I think a few other people talked about how some of my mining videos are very specific to the ship itself and all of the fitting options that you can use, and not so much in the practice of it. There are a couple videos that you ought to check out. One of them I think is mining in practice, and I sort of walk through it, but there's some stuff that I just want to, I guess, do. This will be more about how to build up to and how to sort of maximize your mining returns. Now, I'm not a career miner. I mine on the side just when I want to do something a little bit more relaxing. So, a couple sites that you should be aware of, which I'm sure I've mentioned before, but it's worth repeating. So, let's take a look at this website. So, this is the fuzzwork.co.uk website, and it gives you basically the ISK per cubic meter mined for all of these different types of ores, right? So you see tritanium, pyrite, mexilon. These are the minerals that you'll get out of it, and these are the types of ores over here on the left. So I can filter based on ISK per cubic meter, and let's make it the most at the top. And so I can look down these and I can see, okay, just basically when you warp into an anomaly or an asteroid belt, come over here, figure out which one is worth the most, and start mining that. And we'll talk about that, and I'll show you that in practice here in just another second. Another website that's worth using or looking at is ore.cerlestes.de/ore. Now, that also gives you stuff about moon ores, ice harvesting, and ore mining and such. So, from a very basic level, this tells you similar things, but it also shows you where these ores will be found, right? A is for Amar, G is for Galente, M is for Minmatar, and C is for Caldari. And you can see the little system rating underneath it here, 0.0, 0.0. That means that these are usually found in null space. You've got low sec, low, low. This is in high sec. Kernite you can find in high. Omber, plagioclase, pyroxeres, and so on. So this will, if you need something very specific, or you're working on industry and you're like, man, I need more mexilon, you could come to this site or this site and see that the best ore to mine, I think that's what these little green notifications are, the best ore to mine to collect mexilon is gneiss, right? You come over here and you look for the green mexilon gneiss. There it is. This is how much gneiss per 5 cubic meters you get. 4.8, or how much mexilon you get, 4.8 units, I believe, of mexilon per 5 cubic meters of gneiss. Gneiss is pretty large, and again, looking over here, it'll tell you gneiss, each unit of ore, or at least each group of reprocessed ore, and the only way to reprocess it for almost all of these is to, and you can see here in the required column, is to reprocess 100 of them. Now, if you compress your ore, you take 100 and turn it into 1, in which case then that 1 turns into. Let's not get bogged down in the numbers. One way or the other, these two sites are really helpful. Check them out. They'll tell you kind of how to get the materials you need to build the stuff that you're working on, if that's what you're doing. If you're just trying to make money, then you can easily just sort of filter based on value, and you can come over here and filter based on value as well. So Mercoxit, gneiss, spod, and so on. So to come back to the game and what that means to us. All right, here we are. So we're in space, and the dogs are probably going to bark because I think my wife just came home. So I've got my venture. I don't have a whole lot of money on this character, and so I'm just outfitted with Tech 1 stuff. And what we'll do is we'll undock, and we'll just go look. Now, I have found, and I believe the common, let's get out of here. Let's go to, let's see, mining. All right, well, let's go to one of the mining belts in the system I'm in, just to pick one at random. So, in my experience, if you can find an anomaly, a mining anomaly, now this is unfortunately, this is a noob system where the career agents are, and so you aren't going to see much of the same things here that you will elsewhere. So anything that's an ore site, will have higher, generally, outside of these systems, will have higher quality ores than that security of system allows. Like if you remember that one website, the Celestes site, it told you that you could find certain ores in high sec or low sec or null. And so the things that you would find in null, you may be able to find in an anomaly in high sec, or things in null that are found there normally you might be able to find in low sec in an anomaly. And if you're in null and you use anomalies, you can find much larger versions of the asteroids. So here, I haven't scanned anything, but it looks like it's mostly Veldspar and Scordite, and that's about it. So I come in here, and this is just kind of how I go about things. You may have a different way of doing it, and I'll see what ores I've got available to me. And they're barking. So give me just a second here. Why don't you go out there? Yeah. All right. So I look at what ores are available, and I usually organize by name just right off the bat, just so that it's organized in some sort of meaningful fashion. I see Veldspar, I see Scordite, and that's it. So this is a little bit boring, but all right. I've got two different types of ore. How do I pick which one to mine from? So I go over to this website, like I showed you before. Here we are. I say, all right, I've got it organized by ISK per cubic meter, and I've got Veldspar and Scordite here. All right, so of these two, Veldspar is higher on the list, and I'll get about 195 ISK per cubic meter from mining this. So I come back into the game, and I find the largest, for me, I find the largest asteroid I can. And by largest, I mean most likely to have it's like largest and highest quality. So every ore, if we go back to this website, now that we're talking about it here, if we go to Celestes, every ore, let's find Veldspar, has 3 different types. And you'll see them listed underneath. One has 5% more tritanium, or whatever mineral you get out of it. One has 5% more of those minerals in it than regular Veldspar. One has 10% more, and one has 15% more. The 15% are pretty rare. So we look over here, we see that concentrated is 5%, dense is 10%. So if we go back into the game and we look for dense, there we go. We've got a bunch of dense Veldspar asteroids. And so I'll pick one. At this point, I'll just kind of pick the one that's closest to me. And it looks like it's that one. And I'll go over to it and I'll start mining. So in general, that's the process that I follow. And because we're in this very high level or high security space, and we're in a career agent system, the quality of the ores, or at least the how exotic they are, there's not going to be a whole lot of options here. So you're going to have Veldspar, Scordite. Veldspar, all things considered, for high sec is not bad. I mean, you get almost 200 ISK per cubic meter, and with dense we should get 218. So comparatively, just to look this up again, if we're getting 218, like if I had the choice between Pyroxeres and Plagioclase, and both of those were normal, and I had dense Veldspar, at 218, that's worth more than both of these other more rare or different ores. And so I would still be making more money off of dense Veldspar than I would these other two options here. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And that's, I think, the first point I want to make. Make sure that you're mining, if you are mining purely for profit as opposed to for your own industrial needs, this is a good way to do it. Make sure that what you're mining has the highest ISK per cubic meter, because you've got a limited... I screwed that up. Let's go. Where's the dense? Here we are. Okay. So I'll just target these, and I'll put my lasers on them. So make sure you're mining the ore that's worth the most in that area if you're planning on selling it and not turning it into industry. Now, I think Rurnok, my apologies. I think Rurnok also asked the question is like, how do you decide whether you should reprocess it or turn it into industry? items, and we can get into that in the next video here. But for this first one, really what you have available to you is what you're going to be able to mine. And so if you only have high sec ores available to you, then you should sort of value them based on these websites and harvest as much of them as you can and just sell them in bulk, right? So the rewards from that are not monumental. What you can do also, this is specific to asteroids that you'll find and anomalies. If you can get into ice or moon mining, those are also sources of... My ship strayed too far. Okay, well, that's too bad. But those are also sources of higher quality ores in a higher security space. And we can go about talking about that in one of the next videos. So for now, price out what ore you have available to you, figure out what's worth the most, mine that, and then once you've got some, and let me just see, just for the sake of this video, if I have any ore here. I've got minerals. Okay, I've got a bunch of Veldspar. So I'll just cancel those, and I'll warp back and talk to you a little bit about compressing. So ore takes up a given volume, and it holds a certain value for that volume. And you might find that it's really hard to transport around, because even if you're in your mining ship, you can only carry, in my venture, I can only carry 5,000 cubic meters of it. If you're in a barge or an exhumer, you may be able to carry 12 or 15,000 cubic meters, but if you're serious in mining, you're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of cubic meters of ore that you need to transport. And so finding a way to compress it will help you out substantially. And many stations have the ability to do this. And how they do it is, let's see. If you just right click on it, it doesn't look like this station has it. So let's stack, and that's 9,000. All right, so we'll talk about compression, I guess, in the next video, because I'll have to find a place that allows you to do it, and we'll go from there. But for now, price out the ore. Make sure you're mining the most valuable stuff first. And as one of the other YouTubers, Marky Dragon, always says, even if you have to mine lower quality stuff, if you are mining something as opposed to mining nothing because you're out looking around for better things, you're making a lot more per hour than you would be just looking for, the best thing to mine. So start out by finding a good spot to mine in that's going to have a lot of different opportunities. Stay there, mine anything you can, and just work your way from the most valuable down to the least valuable, and you'll probably benefit from there. So for now, that's kind of the start of it. Getting more into more complex and different types of ore and ice and that sort of thing. Stay tuned and we'll go over that in another video. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.